Hey everybody, welcome to the WOAFM99 Get to Know Your Artist series, episode 16 of season 30. Now, as you know, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, this is sort of a preview to the WOAFM99 radio show and podcast that comes out on Thursday, every Thursday night, like 8 p.m. PST, which is Los Angeles time. So it's mainly Friday early morning for the rest of us, okay? This is a video edit that I do, giving you a lowdown on what's coming up on the show, the artists that have been chosen for the Certified Indie Songs of the Week, a little bit of my personal critique on the songs, or what I like about the song, or what I don't like about the song or artist or whatever. So this is my show, okay? So this is on my YouTube channel, and if you like the content, or if you want to know more about independent acts and all that stuff, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. And also on this channel we have a lot of other stuff as well. This is my artist channel, so you get a lot of music videos that I produce for myself and for other artists that win awards or get on MTV or VH1. And I also have this new thing called the Oliver Sean Sessions Live and Unplugged every weekend actually. So it could either be Friday or Saturday, sometimes Sunday. So click that notification bell so you know when I go live, and you can then chat with me. And when I do that, we also have the WOA team joining us in the chat during the premiere. So you can get to know all of us on my live sessions. But that's another thing. Today is the Get to Know Your Artist series, and so I'm very excited to announce the Certified Indie Songs of the Week. Now, we don't have an In Conversation episode this week, okay? So there's no artist joining me live in the studio. We've kept that for next week. And I'll be joined by WOA artists, The Silvers, who are releasing their brand new album, and they've just finished recording in California. So they're going to be joining me live from Phoenix, San Francisco, and LA, I believe. So they're three members. It's a power trio, just like my band. So they'll be joining me from 3 different locations, each member in a different location. And speaking of The Silvers, we're going to have, by the way, all the artists and the songs that I announce on this show is not in any particular order, okay? So that's decided by me and the team when we record the radio show and podcast on Thursday night. So this is more about just my take on the artist, or certain things that I want to talk about with our fans and our artists who are tuned in and things like that, okay? So we've got the Silvers joining me with their brand new single, It's So Fast. This is one of the singles that's already released from their upcoming album. I believe they've just recorded 5 more songs that will be released together as an LP, really. So stick around for that. It's going to be great. And we're going to play the song on this Thursday, so that you know what's coming up for next week when they join me live in the studio. Well, we also have another WOA artist, a rock band from Seattle. Well, not from Seattle, really, from the Pacific Northwest. And it is none other than Peruia, one of my favorite rock bands, okay? And their song called Fall Behind. Now, this is not their best song. I mean, the fans think it is their best song. But to me, all their songs are great, okay? So they had a song with us that hit the charts and did a lot of stuff already that got on the Grammy ballots last year. But this year, they're working on a brand new single for the album that I'm producing called the Independent Blues Project Part 2. Now, Part 1 hit the Billboard Blues album charts at number 10 with Joe Bonamassa and you name it, Black Keys. There were some amazing bands with us, and we were number 10. And this was an album of independent acts that I put together. So this year, I'm putting out Part 2. And Perugia is going to be part of it, and they're making a special song. Chris and the guys are making a special song for that album, so stick around. But this is sort of a preview to what's coming, okay, by Perugia for this Independent Blues Project album. Of course, if you want to submit to WOA, I always recommend going priority, because you get the communication with us before you get selected within 24 hours. We then can go through different songs to select the best track. You get a lot of benefits when you do priority submissions, or even standard submissions from the WOAFM99.com website. So if you do want to submit, do that. But there are obviously thousands of submissions we get from other free sites like Groover, Music Submit. We stopped Sonic Bids. We don't work with those people anymore. But there are some other sites as well where you can submit music for free. Obviously, you don't really get to communicate with us or give us any information. We just either like it or we don't like it. And now with AI being a new thing, okay, 90%, or rather more than 50% of music that's coming in from independent acts now are all AI songs, you know. So we've put out a questionnaire asking the artists, is it AI? Because if it's not standard or priority submissions, we can't personally chat with them. We just get the song in. So this way, we find out if AI was used. Now, some bands are very upfront and they tell me, or they tell us, I should say, you know, like everything was AI, they just put in a couple of prompts and they made it. In that case, we don't really select those songs, because if it's not a musician making the song, if it's a technician making a song and sending it to us saying, oh, this is a song I like because I said, make it sound like Nickelback, and you know, and write some song words that sound like Nickelback's song, and then they send it to us and we'll be like, sorry mate, that's not what we do. That's not what anybody would do. But maybe the mainstream industry does that now. He's churning out 2,500 songs a day, you know, flooding the market with music that you can't tell the difference with, because it just sounds perfect. Everything's perfect. There's nothing live in it. Like, there's no human touch to it. So a lot of indie artists are starting to sound like that, and it's something now, I think, because we curate it and say, no, we want live, or we want at least part live, you know. So we also have Jay Riley. Now, this is a jazz musician, sax jazz. I like to call it, whenever it's saxophone jazz, I love it because I can say sex jazz, you know, sexy jazz. And Jay Riley, Carelessly Happy. And this is not AI, this is pure jazz music. And I'm a big fan of jazz music. I make blues and Americana and rock, but acoustic rock even. But I don't play jazz, but I love jazz. I listen to a lot of jazz. My uncle was a jazz musician, and I'm inspired by jazz music, you know, especially when they make proper jazz, not smooth jazz. Smooth jazz is fine, it's more pop really. But this is not that. This is sort of in the middle between hardcore jazz and smooth jazz, something that everyone can enjoy, I think. And Jay Riley has done a great job on this song, Carelessly Happy. We then have Matthew Heller, Let's Go. That's the name of the song, Let's Go. Now this is sort of like, it's got this really cool sound. I've got a song called Mexican Beer Song, which is kind of a mix of like that hard alternative punk rock sort of thing. Not punk rock, but alternative rock mixed with old school 1960s The Wonders sort of rock and roll, you know, fast rock and roll. And you mix that two together. This is that kind of sound. I quite like it. It sounds great, you know, it sounds really good. We then have Melusine. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Melusine. The song is called My Valentine. Now this is more of a demo. Towards the end, I sometimes put in a song which is either a demo or very experimental genre, which wouldn't go on radio usually. And I do that when there's something special or something I want to make a point about. And so this is an indie artist who might benefit from using AI, you know. Like she's just a good songwriter, but she's not a producer, or she doesn't know how to maybe record a certain thing or whatever. But she could use AI to make a proper demo, to then take it and make it into a high-end produced song when she can afford it, you know. But this way she'll get more airplay. But then again, artists like these, or any artist really, even if you're using AI, try to keep your human touch to it, because when you go all the way in, it completely changes. And speaking of that, another artist I'm going to play today is a Goa Chill Out Zone artist called Jim Siner. He's a singer-songwriter. He's got a band, great stuff. You know, they make live music. But he also uses AI for his art, because he's a painter and he uses and photographer. So he uses AI for that, and he's used now AI for some songs, sent in the songs to us, and he said he was submitting songs for the Independent Number Ones Volume 16, which comes out in the second quarter of 2026. And he asked us which song we would select for the album. And he sent in 2 AI songs and 2 original songs. When I say original, I mean live songs that he recorded with his band. And I went with, I said I want to go with the original live, even though it's not as perfect as the AI songs. Now both these songs are his songs, right? He has written the songs, it's his creative idea behind it, creativity behind it, but he used AI for 1 song or 2 songs, made it perfect, even the voice and the guitars and everything. And the other is these guys sitting in the studio doing it, a lot of, you know, as an indie band would do, you know, not highly produced, but just sounds cool. And I went with that because I think that is what is now going to stand out from the music, because everything else sounds the same. You know, AI is making everything sound the same. And the live thing is where it's going to stand out. Even if it's not top end live, you know, it's still special, you know. So Jim Signer is coming in with Forgive from our #1 charting album, Goa Chill Out Zone Volume 15, which hit #1 in the UK, #1 in Germany, and we're fingers crossed for Portugal and America. I'll let you know on the radio show, or maybe next week when I do a Get to Know Your Artist series, if the album hits charts in other countries as well, okay? We also have another band called Valkyries Bard, the name of the band, and the song is called Break the Crown. They were very open about it. They said that they used AI for production, but the songwriting and the creative process was theirs. So this is one way of looking at it as a tool. But let me know what you think. How do you like this song? You know, would it have been cooler if it was completely done live in the studio without any AI? Or you reckon this is a good way for indie acts to go, okay? We then have a band called Gold Coast with their song Hi-Fi Receiver. It's sort of like the Black Crowes for 2020s. Okay, I'm a big fan of the Black Crowes, right, back in the 90s or early 2000s. And they're now, this is that kind of sound. I don't know if there's any AI used. It doesn't sound like it, you know, because it sounds very rock and roll, but I don't know. So maybe the Gold Coast guys will, Australian band, I suppose if you say Gold Coast, it's got to be Australia. Hopefully they'll let us know before the show on Thursday if any AI was used on this song or if it's all live, okay? We then have Jacques Pena, another Goa Chill Out Zone artist, with his song Je suis en rouge. Now, this is one of our WA artists who's doing phenomenally well. He's a French act and live, completely live, you know. And he just got a massive article done on him by one of the press partners. They really liked his song. This is his song from the Goa Chill Out Zone album. He's got a massive album releasing in April, and WA is going to be supporting that in a big way. So stick around to know more about Jacques Pena. We then have Joel Morais. Now, I thought he was Portuguese because Morais is kind of a Portuguese name. So I thought, hey, fellow Portuguese, you know. I don't know though. Song is called Go Fix Yourself. Very cool song. This is my kind of music, is blues rock. And I'd be very surprised if AI was used in this song. It's a proper live song. I love it. It's really, really cool. My kind of music, okay? We then have another Goa Chill Out Zone artist called Didka D with the Rising Now New Remix. That's the name of the song. You can listen to it on the Goa Chill Out Zone album. Available everywhere, okay? And she has used AI, but this is an electronic, sort of electro-pop, electro-dance song. And I think AI goes well with that kind of genre, you know, because that's the kind of style it is, you know. For example, if a rock and roll band, or if you hear a rock and roll song and then you realize everything in that song is AI, you'll be a bit like, do I like it? Even though I like it, do I really like it? You know what I mean? But a song like Didka D's song, Rising Now New Remix, you're cool with it because it's that dance pop music and you're like, yeah, it's fine, you know, because it's her song, she's used AI to enhance it or whatever. And that's kind of cool. And it's also part of a Goa Chill Out Zone multiple #1 charting album. Another artist, Jerard Rice from Goa Chill Out Zone with New Jack. A beautiful music video on this song. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. And if you check out the Goa Chill Out Zone on Apple Music or Spotify, you'll see his, not Spotify, Apple Music or YouTube Music, you'll see New Jack, the music video from the album, and it's his song that has this music video. I produced one of his songs and I added blues, made it more sort of live, with his R&B, and it hit the Billboard charts. You know, my production was fantastic. And again, he's now, even though he makes hip hop and R&B, which has a lot of electronic sounds, he's completely live. Okay, no AI, no nothing like that. It's live, maybe samples and stuff, but live music. Okay, live artists. Everything is Jerard Rice. Last but not least, we've got Mix of Diz. Brett is the guy behind Mix of Diz. Now he makes music, which is so cool. Like, he's a real artist in the terms that his art comes. It's like a painting by Picasso, right? You don't know what the hell he's thinking of when he does it, but it's so cool to look at, you know, kind of like that. Like, you don't know what he's doing with his music, how his mind's working, but that's art, you know. Whether he uses AI or he doesn't use AI, it doesn't matter, because you can't make that kind of song or that kind of sound if you don't have it inside you. That's what it is. So listen to the song. It's part of the Goa Chill Out Zone. But then go and listen to his other stuff as well, including all the artists. But because with the Mix of Diz, you'll be like, that is like Björk, for example, you know. How did she come up with that idea? Now, if she uses a machine to make that idea, it doesn't matter, because that idea can only come from a human, if that makes sense to you. And on that note, the Get to Know Your Artist series is done for today. I hope you do tune in on Thursday night to check out all these songs and these artists that I've been talking about. And before the show, go check out the acts, okay? Maybe add them to your playlist and give them some support. Independent music, man, that's what it's all about, okay? And don't forget, I'll be live with my Oliver Sean sessions. My channel has a lot of stuff, okay? We got Get to Know Your Artist, we have in-conversation highlights, me chatting with artists, tech reviews on certain high-end audio production equipment that if you're an artist, you might enjoy that, or guitars. You can see guitars all over the place. I collect guitars, so I'm going to be starting to talk about high-end guitars that I buy, or even cheaper guitars that I buy that I really like, okay? So if you're a guitar player, or if you're an indie artist who produces their own music or records their own music, we're going to be having shows that I'll be talking about that kind of stuff. And also I have the Oliver Sean sessions, which is me performing live and unplugged, no AI, and nothing electronic or anything. It's just my guitar and me playing the stomp box with my feet, you know, and doing covers and originals reimagined. That comes every weekend, and the other shows happen as and when they happen. So please subscribe to my channel if you can, and like this video and click that notification bell, okay, so you know when we go live. Because when I'm live, or when I have the premiere of my show, we have parts of the WA team joining us in the conversation and in the chat, and a lot of artists. It will be wonderful to have you there. Oliver Sean signing out. See you on Thursday night on the WOAFM99 radio show and podcast.